The high volume Ford Escape is very important for Ford. That's why we bought two to test. The SE version is the version that most people will get, and a loaded Escape Titanium. Easily the best thing about the Escape is how it drives. It's nimble, it has responsive steering, makes it really fun to drive. Another high point is the ride. It's both well controlled and absorbent. Let's face it, some small SUVs sound and feel like tin cans, not the Escape. Road noise is really subdued and it feels solid and substantial. There are 3 4-cylinder engines available. There's no V6 and no hybrid. Most Escapes will have the 1.6-liter turbocharged engine that comes in RSE. This little engine has good mid-range pull, but you sometimes have to wait for a shift to get that power. You definitely know it's working at it. The top-level engine is a 2-liter turbocharged 4. That comes standard on our Escape Titanium. This is a lot more power, and it feels like it puts in a lot less effort than the 1.6. And when you get this engine, you also get 3,500 pounds of towing capacity. Surprisingly, the 2-liter actually doesn't cost you that much more at the pump. The 1.6 is only slightly more fuel efficient, and that's partly because it works harder at slow speeds. Visibility to the front and sides is decent. It has open, airy feel, and large wraparound windshield and large side windows. One thing that does detract is that the pillars have wide bases. It's actually kind of hard to get the backup camera on the Escape. It's not available in our SE version, and you have to buy a $1,000 option package to get it on our Titanium. It's really kind of ridiculous for a very helpful safety feature, especially when competitors like the Honda CR-V, it's now standard. Getting in and out of the Escape is really easy. It has low sills and big doors. Inside, the Escape is much nicer than before. The dashboard is thickly padded. Some details, like gaps in the panels, do hold it back. The controls can actually be frustrating. Even basic Escapes have a radio that's much more complex than it needs to be. Up-level Escapes have the MyFord Touch controls. Some of those screens are really busy and have small fonts, and it's a long reach to the touch screen. And some of the corners that you need to touch are actually blocked from your view by the dashboard profile. These are kind of big flaws for something that's called MyFord Touch. Comprehensive sync commands do help some, especially when you're using phones and iPods. As far as driving position, it can be somewhat tight. There's a big console that pushes into your right leg and an uneven floor pan on the left. The basic cloth front seats are actually somewhat too soft to really give adequate support, and the fabric covering is wrinkled in spots. Some people actually compared it to a cheap suit. Things are actually much better with the optional leather power seats. They're nicely trimmed and much more supportive all around. Regardless of which trim you get, the rear seat is not that comfortable. It's low and it's hard. Some of the competitors have more room. There's a good sized cargo area, and one nice thing on upper level versions is they have a tailgate that opens by kicking your foot underneath the back bumper. It's really great if your hands are full, but keep in mind that if you opt for the towing package, it omits that feature. The Escape is actually expensive for what you get. RSE stickered at $28,000, and that doesn't include a sunroof or backup camera. That's several $1,000s more than competitors like a Honda CR-V or Subaru Forester that include those features. Our Escape Titanium came in at over $36,000, but keep in mind that includes a heavy load of some upscale equipment. It puts it on a level with vehicles like the Volkswagen Tiguan, or even cars like the BMW X3 or Audi Q5. Overall, the Escape is really nice to drive. A couple of packaging issues like the tight driving position and the so-so rear seat, not to mention the complicated controls, detract from its livability. And at the heart of the market, it's actually rather expensive when compared to very popular competitors.